Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I'm out at Heroes Park today and I have got the Fimi X8 SE, the 2020 version, and Fimi recently did another firmware update for this drone. So I did the upgrade and I thought we'd just come out here and check it out. Now I'm doing this a little different because I got all the way out here and realized that I didn't have my tripod with me, so I'm kind of hand holding the GoPro here. But to let you know, what the flight controls went from 1024D to 1025N, and the camera went from 2028A to 2029B. And what this latest firmware update is supposed to do, and I'll put the details on the screen here, is to affect the white balance, correct the white balance, I believe it said. So I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I have had white balance issues in the past. It didn't look quite right. So today we're going to put the white balance setting on sunny day, lock it in on sunny day, and we'll try that out and see how it looks. And then the other thing that it said that it would do, and people have had issues with this, is it said that it was improving the GPS capabilities of the drone. So we'll see. Last time I had it out, we lost some GPS signal. So we'll take it up today and we'll try that out. So the other thing that I wanted to do today is the previous firmware update was said to improve the tracking mode. So we're going to go through the three tracking modes today, trace, profile, and lock, and we're going to try them out and see you know, what kind of difference that makes. So anyway, give me just a second and we'll get this bird in the air. You're not going to see the takeoff, but we'll keep recording. Well, you'll see the takeoff, but you won't see it from the third-person view. So anyway, let me quit messing around here and we'll get this bird in the air. Okay, we've got the drone fired up and it's showing is ready to go here, but let's double check. Tapping on the top there, it's telling us compass is normal, IMU is normal, battery is normal, GPS is normal, and the gimbal is normal. So we're good to go with regard to calibrations. You're going to see it at the battery at 96% because this is the battery that I used when I did the firmware update. So we got 14 satellites. You know, it looks like we're good. Let me check the camera settings. I almost forgot about that. We want to go in here and I'm going to leave the video quality on minimum. Now, typically I go in and set that to high. It always defaults to minimum. I've never shot at minimum, so or medium, excuse me. I'm going to give that a shot. And we are going to change that white balance to sunny day. It is a sunny day, although the sun is very low in the sky here. We've got the winter sun and H.264 codec and 4K 30 frames. Perfect. That is where we're going to leave that. And video mode, we could try HDR, but I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to leave it just in video mode and see how that looks. A little different than what I've done in the past. And locking in that white balance, it'll be interesting to see how that looks in sunny day mode. So I'm going to start recording now. So we are indeed recording. And gosh, let's just do a takeoff here on the controller. I'm just going to push the button on the controller. And the drone is going to rise to, I believe it's about 4 meters. Yeah, 4 meters in height. That's typical for this guy. That's what it does. I'm looking at the horizon. Let's drop that camera down just a little. Might be a little bit crooked, but not too bad. Let's move forward here. And I'm going to turn it around and drop it down. And you guys can get a look at where I'm standing here. I'm at the picnic shelter that I'm typically at here at the park, but a lot of people out running their dogs today, so we're gonna see if we can stay out of their way. I'm gonna move the drone over just a little bit here, and we are going to kind of go to the opposite section of the park. I don't see any people out there, so we're going to do our usual droney. Let me get the gimbal down here a little bit, and reverse and up now. Reverse and up. And there we are, and of course we're kind of looking into the sun there. So that is a little bit difficult, and boy, that horizon is way off. Holy cow. As many of you know, that's one of the most frustrating things to me about this drone. So I'm going to jig it back and forth, bank it back and forth. And you didn't really see that because the gimbal's doing its job, but let's yaw it back and forth here a little bit and see if we can straighten out that gimbal. Well, maybe a little bit. But anyway, we are heading. We're kind of looking into the sun here, so I want to bring it. I want to bring it back to us, but I'm going to turn the back of the drone to the sun. And we're looking just kind of towards the Boise front there. And let's just bring this drone backwards, and like I said, it will be facing away from the sun this way. We're about 40 meters high or so, and that'll kind of give you a better look at what the camera is capable of on this guy. This, I'll tell you one thing about it is this is a fast, powerful drone, and it really is fun seeing what this thing can do. I didn't look at our speed there, but I'm sure I can tell you we were moving right along. Okay, let's move back to back over the flagpole here. Doggone it, I see some people out there with their dogs right about where I like to shoot, so we're going to kind of cut the difference here. We're going to stay right along the edge of the walking path. And we're going to look over towards another area that I like to shoot towards, and that is the new Costco that they built here. So you can see that there, and there again, there is some terrain there. The terrain there kind of moves up, so the horizon probably looks more crooked than it is, but it's still a little bit crooked. There again, we're going to go reverse. We're going to reverse here, and what I want you to pay attention to is the video quality and what you see. And I know this isn't the ideal time of year for this. You know, there's not a lot of color. And the drone just passed above us here. But that kind of gives you a pretty good look and gives us an idea of the video quality. Okay, I got one more thing I want to do with this bird here is we're going to go and look over here. We're going to go across and see if we can cross the street here. We'll wait for a gap before we cross this street. And one of the things, you know, that they talked about this, and I've got a straight shot. Okay, there looks like we got a clear spot. And we'll go across into the field across the street there. And I have, in the past, have had sometimes have had Wi-Fi disconnects or control disconnects out in this field over here. And I'm going to go out to the location that I've had those before. And we'll see, kind of head towards this pond a little bit. So far, so good. And we've got good satellite count. We haven't had any issues with satellite. And that was one of the things that this update is supposed to take care of. Okay, we're going to stop there. Oh, yeah, look at that. We lost signal. And it put the drone into fail-safe return. Yeah, I'm going to X out of that. Yeah, that's what I told you. There's a spot there that for whatever reason, I don't know why it does that. Wow, look at that. So there, I mean, you know, you saw, you'll see the screen recording here, and you can see the signal, and And there's nothing between me and that drone, so we should have a good signal there. Okay, so we're not going to go any further than that. Let's turn around, let's come back across the field, and we'll get back into the park here, and we'll try some of those tracking modes. But I just wanted to go out to that dead spot and see if it was still a dead spot, and by golly, it still is. It's kind of odd how, you know, I don't know if it's Wi-Fi interference or what it is. I'll pick the gimbal up just a tad here. And again, let's see if we can find a clear spot to cross the road. Give it just a second here. Yeah, it looks like we got it here. Okay. Yeah, we are clear. And we're going to go over the pond and over the corner of the park there. And we are back into the park, over the top of the park. I got to tell you, it sure is fun watching that drone come flying over it. It moves right along. This is a fast, powerful drone. It is really fun. And there, spin it back around here, and we are kind of facing into the sun. But I'm going to bring it in here, and we're going to try out some of the tracking modes. All right, I got my GoPro in my back pocket, and you see me walking out here, and we're going to go into those tracking modes and try them out. And we'll move it around. We're kind of looking into the sun, and so, you know, the warning that I always give on the tracking modes on this guy is that this drone does not have any sort of obstacle avoidance. So I'm going to move it around us here to the other side. So we've got the back of the drone to the sun, and unfortunately then I'm trying to look into the sun when I'm looking at the drone. But let me get the gimbal down here a little bit, and I'm trying to remember how I think you have to be at least 5 meters off the ground for this to work. But that should be okay there. Drop the gimbal just slightly here. And then, so to go into the intelligent flight modes, you click on that little, I don't know, it looks to me like a little Android looking thing in the bottom right hand side of the screen. And we're going to click on SmartTrack. And you notice that mine says beta on that label there. Other people have told me that they don't have that in their app. I don't know why. The app's been updated to the latest version. But then we clicked on SmartTrack. We're going to go into Trace. We click on Trace. We're going to drag a rectangle. Yeah, and look at this. It even says, I've never noticed this before. It says medium is the highest video image quality of intelligent flight. And you know what? My suspicion is that that has to do with computing power. Obviously, when you're in highest video quality, you're using more of the CPU on the drone. So let's go ahead and click OK. And again, I'm going to say that number 2 there, please fly in an open area and keep away from people and buildings. There is no obstacle avoidance on this thing, so you literally could run it right into a building. So then it's got me there. We're going to click go, and it theoretically will follow me from behind here. So I'm walking away from the drone, and it is. I'll see if I can hold the GoPro kind of over my head and see if we can get some pictures of the drone, but I don't know if we will or not. Let me see if I can walk under the drone, see what it does. And we're pushing the drone backwards, just like I thought, which is perfect. Okay, so Trace works, and as it has in the past, but I've had issues at this very park with it losing me before, and it didn't lose us there. So we're going to click on the X in the bottom right there, and we're going out of that mode. So next we're going to try profile, and that is where it'll follow you from the side. So click on the little Android guy again, back into SmartTrack, profile, and it again talks about that medium video image quality. They may have changed that because I don't remember seeing that notation there before, but anyway, we're going to try this again. So let's do the rectangle. And I did a pretty big box there, but let's try that. So we're going to click go. And let me hold the GoPro up here. Well, you're not going to see it because it's kind of in the sun. But in fact, I can't see it. I mean, the drone is right in the sun there. But it's working. I'm going to walk this direction and see if the drone, yeah, it's not following me that way. So it just stays in that profile mode, in the sideways mode. And it's moving. It's doing it, even though I moved quite a ways away. So I'm going to come closer. And I'll bet I can lose it in this mode if I walk right underneath the drone. And I did. Yeah, so that makes sense because it's in profile mode. It would make sense. Yeah, and it says mission completed, so it stopped that. Okay, we're gonna do the last tracking mode here. Sorry about that, the drone is looking down, isn't it? Let's pick that camera back up. That's no fun to look at that. Okay, so this last one is interesting. It's called lock mode, and basically, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to click on that. Click on that Android again at the bottom, SmartTrack, and lock mode. What it's going to do is it's going to do a 360 around me. So again, it's warning you to stay in an open area, which particularly in this, because the drone is going to be flying around you, so you could literally fly it into a tree or a building or whatever. Whoops, I don't know why it jumped out of there, but let's do that again. Lock mode, click OK. Draw the rectangle and go. And we can tell it which way to go. Let's go clockwise here. And that's a fairly fast clockwise rotation. And the drone is, yeah, it's doing great. And it's just following me. Doing a rotation at the same time. So in this mode, here's what I'm wondering. We're going to change something here. I'm going to move it to 0. Or I'm going to try. Okay, we've got it at 0. Let's see if it'll track me still. And it will, but look at how that that box got real small. So it's just staying in place. So you could use this as like a cameraman mode. Now I'm going to walk towards the drone. Yeah, no, it won't move. And it ultimately, yeah, it's kind of losing me. There, it picked me back up. Okay, just for the fun of it, let's go counterclockwise now. And I sped that baby up to almost full. I think Oh, it kind of lost me. There it goes. And it's moving right along. And let me tell you, at this speed, I mean, I'm watching the drone here. And trust me, at this speed, you want to be careful because you could definitely run the drone right into something. Yeah, so I think because it was looking into the sun there, when it bobbled there, so we're going to stop. So I watched the drone, and when it bobbled, it was right in the direction of the sun. So I think what that was is the drone probably got confused by a reflection there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Tracking mode worked great. It never lost us, you know, other than when I purposely tried to walk out from under it there. So that's good. Okay, we got 38% battery. I say we let's just send this guy. Might as well try something else here. Let's you know me, I love doing a spiral, so let's try a spiral here just for the fun of it. Again, it's warning you about the medium video setting there. I don't know if you noticed that. That is something new because I would have noticed that before. And I'm sure, oh, I forgot about this. This is a little different. You're not drawing a box. You got a set center. So we're going to fly it right over the top of me. And that's roughly over the top of me. I'm going to set center. And I'm going to back it up. And I think you have to be at least 5 meters away. We'll see when it, yeah, when you're not red anymore. And dropping the gimbal down. And I'm clicking that arrow that's pointed right in the top right. And we can tell it clockwise or counterclockwise and radius. Let's crank that radius right up. Well, maybe not quite that far. And let's click go. And we do want auto return on, so I'm going to click go. And it should start here. So there we're seeing the drone start its radius. And we're heading right, it's got the sun right at its back now. And it's moving up and away from us. One of my favorite shots that you can do with the drone, DJI calls it a helix, Fimi calls it a spiral. But if you think about the kind of moves you'd have to make with the stick to duplicate that, I'm sure there's probably several of you out there that are talented enough to do it. I'm telling you, I'm not. So there, it completed its mission, and it'll return back here to its starting point. And we're down to 30% battery. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it around here. Quit recording at the end of that. I forgot. Okay, so we started recording again. That's what that beep was. So we're going to back it off. And let's go ahead and hit return to home. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to flip the switch on the controller to do that. And the drone will start its return to home. And I'm heading back, walking that direction. And the drone is looking into the sun now. So that's, you're going to see a little bit of lens flare there. And I mean, the winter sun is so low in the sky, it's really harsh. And, you're liable to see some prop shadows as well. But that's just kind of, when you're looking into that bright sun, that's to be expected. Wow, I thought the drone performed great today. Okay, we aborted out of that auto landing. And I'm going to land it manually here. I don't have my I didn't bring my landing pad with me today, so it wasn't going to get a precision landing anyway. This drone requires a landing pad for a precision landing. Okay, we'll bring it on in here. And it's now just as simple as, and boy, this thing is stable. I mean, that drone is just hanging there like it's hanging from a string. I'm going to hold the left stick all the way down, and it'll go into landing mode. One of the things that this drone does that I really like is it shuts off recording as soon as it lands. That way you avoid having a corrupted video file. Alrighty, so we took the Fimi X8 SE up today and we did the firmware update on it. So we wanted to try that out and see how it worked. Now, as far as the white balance, I'm not going to be able to tell you till I get home and look at the SD card. You guys will have already seen that, so you can make your own judgment there. With regard to GPS, I can tell you GPS was strong, so I saw no issues with the drone either acquiring GPS or maintaining the number of satellites, so that's good. And then tracking, so that was the firmware release before that. And I want to mention these firmware numbers. So we're currently on 1025N. We were formerly on 1024D. That's for the flight controls. And on the camera, formerly it was 2028A, and now it is 2029B. So in any case, it seemed to work with regard to tracking the previous version where they did that. Can't have no complaints on the tracking this time. It did it just perfectly. The only time that we lost it is when I had it in profile mode and I induced it into doing that by walking underneath the drone. So that's perfectly understandable. So yeah, I'm anxious to get this footage home and take a look at it, and we'll see how it goes. So. Gosh, just a nice day for a flight. I hope you guys enjoyed it because I sure had fun doing it. So anyway, this is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I really do appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And of course, we'll see you on the next one. All right, bye now. Fimi X8 SE 2020 version. Pretty cool little drone, lots of drone for the money. Talk to you later. Bye.